This is KNDU. More local news, more often.
From the KNDU studios, it's time for KNDU Local News, Northwest Today.
Good morning, it's 5 o'clock, and thanks for waking up with Northwest Today. I'm Jay Frank.
And I'm Jamie Kern. It's Thursday, October 27th, 2005, and time to check in with meteorologist Jonathan Lowe for a peek at the weather.
That's right. We are seeing a fairly chilly morning outside. Whew, it is cold out there, especially in the Kittitas and Yakima Valley. We're seeing a freeze warning that's going to continue until about 9 o'clock this morning. You can see why. 29 degrees in Yakima, 30 in Ellensburg, a little bit warmer in the basin and foothills, but we will still have some chances to warm up today with partly cloudy skies, a little bit clearer than it was yesterday. Temperatures back toward the 60s in most of the region.
This morning, it's down to the wire in the CIA leak probe, and still no word on possible indictments.
Lawyers in the case expect an announcement on any charges by tomorrow. Brooke Hart joins us with the latest from Washington, D.C.
Special counsel Patrick Fitzgerald spent 3 hours making his case to the grand jury and emerged with no comment.
Morning.
Will there be an indictment of Bush advisor Karl Rove, of Cheney Chief of Staff Lewis Libby, or of any other aide who may have leaked that war critic Joe Wilson's wife Valerie worked undercover at the CIA? It's a possibility that threatens to upend the president's circle.
We obviously continue to follow developments in the news, and I'm sure when the special prosecutor has more to say, he will do so at the appropriate time.
It was Joe Wilson who challenged the Bush administration after the president's State of the Union claim that Saddam Hussein sought uranium from Niger. Wilson's CIA-sponsored mission months earlier found no evidence of that. He contends the Bush team outed his wife to silence him, and some Democrats back him up.
We still don't know yet whether this will prove to be an indictable offense in a court of law, but for it and for misleading a nation into war, they will be indicted in the high court of history.
But special counsel Fitzgerald appears to be building a case against someone, learning this week that neighbors to Plame had not known her CIA role before she was outed, showing steps she took to keep her identity secret. A new poll shows many Americans are paying attention to the probe. 4 in 10 believe Bush aides broke the law. But for now, that's up to a federal grand jury. Its conclusion expected by tomorrow. In Washington, Brooke Hart, NBC News.
In local news, police aren't releasing the name of a man found dead in a long-closed Kennewick motel. Authorities are trying to contact that man's family. An autopsy by Benton County coroners yesterday did not find any evidence of foul play. Toxicology tests are still pending. They'll determine if the man had drugs in his body at the time of death. Police say they're surprised no one reported the man was missing.
Military mom Cindy Sheehan finds herself in a Washington, D.C. jail again after being arrested in front of the White House last night. Sheehan, along with several hundred anti-war protesters, camped out in front of the White House last night. They held a candlelight vigil in honor of the now more than 2,000 American soldiers who have died in Operation Iraqi Freedom. Authorities arrested Sheehan when she and dozens of others laid down along the fence of the White House. Meanwhile, the protest in our nation's capital marked just one of among 1,300 planned around the country yesterday. Demonstrators in Richland silently protested along the curb of George Washington Way. They lit candles and held up signals, all to honor the over 2,000 troops who lost their lives in Iraq. They stood next to the passing cars, hoping drivers would notice signs saying "too many dead, how many more," and "so justice, reap peace." Last night, demonstrators don't want people to call them anti-military activists. They say they support the troops. And a war vigil in downtown Yakima was held to honor all soldiers killed in Iraq. This one organized by the Yakima Valley Peace Advocates Network. Among the group at Millennium Park were war veterans, mothers, and even priests, all advocates against the war in Iraq. The Peace Advocates Network planned this vigil in an effort to continue the legacy that MoveOn.org begun. Move On is a political organization sponsoring nearly 1,500 vigils nationwide.
And working for you now, a viewer emailed us after seeing a story about MoveOn.org asking where its funding comes from. So we looked into it. MoveOn.org takes 2 forms, one for civic action, the other for political action. We found out individuals can donate no more than $5,000 per year. Its website says it's a grassroots organization that supports challengers driven by progressive values. A note now off the wire. U.S. military officials say another 3 soldiers have been killed in the past 24 hours in virtually non-stop insurgent attacks in Iraq.
2 soldiers died yesterday in a roadside bomb attack in eastern Baghdad. A third was killed north of Baghdad. 4 additional troops were injured in this second attack.
And in local news, a Pendleton burglar is facing 8.5 years in prison after locking a 100-year-old woman in her bathroom during a theft. The victim, Rita Kirkpatrick, wasn't injured but spent more than 6 hours captive. It happened on Southwest 3rd. 2 burglars, including the now convicted Russell Scott Green Jr., were quickly arrested. Yesterday, Green was sentenced for theft, burglary, and kidnapping. Soon to be sentenced is the other suspect, Jacqueline Smith, who recently pleaded guilty. And a 16-year-old Ellensburg boy is in Yakima County juvenile detention this morning after an alleged bomb threat against Ellensburg High School. Police arrested the boy after other students alerted them to the bomb rumors. The boy's bail is set at $500,000. And in Hanford news, Senator Patty Murray is sounding alarm bells over Congress's budget plans for the VIT plant. From the budget, that's for Congress's budget plans for next year's budget at the VIT plant. She says it plans to slash more than $100 million in funding. Such a move would threaten deadlines for cleaning up the area. She says lawmakers believe the more than $600 million requested by the Bush administration from 2006 is too much. Murray fears delays and layoffs at the site and says today will be the last chance to save the plant's proposed budget. Washington state Republican leaders are hitting the road to gather input and galvanize support for next year's legislative session. They met with the Yakima Chamber of Commerce last night. The goal is to prioritize their lawmaking agenda. Leaders are calling it a listening tour. Among the issues discussed, taxes, economy, health care, and property rights. If you want to get involved with your representatives, log on to our websites at KNDU or KNDU.com for a link to a toll-free legislative hotline.
With more than 700 sex offenders living in Yakima County, a warning for parents this Halloween. Parents always need to be aware of where sex offenders live, but it's especially important when kids are out in numbers in local neighborhoods at night. You can find out where the county's most dangerous sex offenders are living by checking out the County Sheriff's Office website or by looking at the Sex Offender Handbook at the County Sheriff's Office in the County Courthouse. We've also put a link to that website for you on our website. It's under on-air links. Just visit KNDU or KNDO.com. Well, the Washington State Patrol says next time you're pulled over for speeding, you'll be less likely to get off with just a warning.
To tell us more, here's Northwest Today's Brian Levitan.
You may want to ease your foot off the accelerator or rethink where you are setting your cruise control. The Washington State Patrol announcing a crackdown on speeders. Statewide, nearly 6 out of 10 drivers pulled over for speeding are issued only a warning, but that number is about to change. Locally, patrol officials want drivers to be aware that speedometers aren't always accurate and to be careful when setting the cruise control.
Assuming that your speedometer is accurate, if a person's set at 5 or 6 over and it's 3 or 4 off, you know, now pretty soon we're up at 9, 10, 11 miles an hour over the speed limit. I mean,
although statewide traffic accidents are up 4%, Lieutenant Barry reports that this is a good year safety-wise. In his 5-county jurisdiction, stretching from Benton to Garfield counties, there have been only 6 accidents this year, resulting in fatalities. For Northwest Today, I'm Brian Levitan.
In business news this morning, Amazon.com stock dropped 13% in yesterday's trading, but that hasn't dulled enthusiasm from those in the Tri-Cities looking to work at the new call center in Kennewick.
WorkSource Columbia Basin says they've received 970 applications from people interested in jobs and that Amazon is impressed with the applicants. 120 will be hired for management and customer service positions. By January 1st, the company plans on having a local staff of 400.
And coming up after the break, we'll check in with meteorologist Jonathan Lowe and get a peek at your weather on this Thursday.
Okay, but first, here's a live look outside, courtesy of the Les Schwab Tower Cam. That Jonathan's forecast next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Wilcox Furniture.
If you think deals were hot during employee pricing, you should see them now. Hi, I'm Jeff Hall from Hall Chevrolet Buick and Prosser. Now through October 31st, prices are even lower on all remaining 05 Chevys and Buicks. In fact, every one of our vehicles, new and used, has been marked down for this end-of-the-month event. You'll even get a $3,500 rebate on new 06 Silverado half-ton pickups. We'll save you a bundle on your next vehicle through Monday, October 31st. At Halls and Prosser, we're making more than deals. We're making friends and keeping them.
Cantor Diamond imports diamonds from around the world, all certified from EGL, GIA, AGS, and sells for 30 to 60% below appraised value. 1/2 carat total weight earrings retail for $600 at Cantor $299. 1 carat total weight 3 diamond band compare at $2,000 at Cantor $899. 3 diamond pendants are $99. 1/2 carat certified solitaires are only $749. 1 carat certified solitaires are $24.99. Worldwide sources in-house manufacturing at a low overhead means you save up to 60%. Cantor Diamond, Clearwater and Columbia Center Boulevard.
Hello? Hey, Marcus, I've got big news! Well, hit me with it. The first Wombo combo is coming out of the oven right now. For real? You're cooking up a Wombo with 4 premium meats and 4 gourmet veggies right now? Yep. The awesome aroma is filling the air as I speak. Matt, I'm there.
You could have at least put on a shirt.
The Wombo Combo is back, now just $14.99. Part of the new premium specialty menu, only at Round Table.
The 4th annual Oktoberfest sales drive is in the final days, but these final days will be huge. Friday through Monday, save thousands on a selection of over 1,000 vehicles. 27 acres of new and used cars, trucks, and vans, all marked down for these final 4 days. This once-a-year event is open to all credit union members in the Columbia Basin. 3.9% APR on select vehicles. No payments till January 2006. Save money and help local people because a portion of every vehicle sale is donated to local food banks. The Oktoberfest sales drive ends Monday night at the Pasco Autoplex.
Courage, bravery, selflessness, the qualities that make a hero.
KNDU is proud to partner with the American Red Cross once again to present the Real Heroes Awards.
Help us find heroes in our community by nominating someone you know who has acted heroically to save a life or help another.
To get a nomination form, call the Red Cross at 783-6195.
Or log on to KNDU.com.
A portion of the news is brought to you by the Oregon Lottery.
It's a little chilly outside today.
Yes,
well,
it is.
wait a minute. First now, Jonathan, welcome to the show. Jamie, we haven't given Jonathan a proper welcome. Jonathan, we're happy to have you.
Well, thank you. I'm happy
I know
to
the
be
weather's
here.
important, but that's job number 1.
Oh, thank you very much. And let me just say we all miss Jeremy Baker. Jeremy was a great part of the team.
Absolutely.
And he's going to be missed by all.
But we are so happy to have you here, too.
But I will fill in for the cause. I'll do my best. And let's go ahead and talk about those chilly temperatures because a lot of people are waking up. They got to get some coffee in them, not just to wake up, but to stay warm outside. 28 degrees in Yakima currently with 36 for the Tri-Cities. We're looking at relative humidities anywhere from 85 to 95% and winds staying fairly calm, a little bit breezier in Yakima at around 7 miles per hour. Looking at temperatures around the state, it is 36 degrees in Wenatchee, 41 as you head to Spokane and Walla Walla, 37 on the Palouse and Pullman, also for Pendleton, and 39 in Omak. Looking at the west side of the state, a little bit warmer on average, 36 in the capital city of Olympia, 34 in Bellingham, and 40 degrees in both Seattle and Quileute. Looking at the satellite and radar for the nation, it's fairly quiet this morning, not seeing too much in the way of rainfall activity as you head toward the east. Most of that rain is staying with this system that just passed through yesterday in our area. Now it's into most of Idaho and western Montana. What's going to happen with that system? It's going to continue to push on toward the east. We're going to continue to see another system. This system right behind the first one is going to continue to advance toward us. Right now we're sort of wedged in between both systems, but that will change as we go through the next 24 hours. Satellite and radar, you can see one system off to the east, a lot of gray skies heading toward the east on I-90, I-84, toward Boise, down toward Pocatello, and into Missoula as well. And we will have a chance to see this system off toward our west continue to advance toward us over the next, well, 24 hours. Again, the cloudcast is going to show that we're going to see a lot of this rainfall continue to slam into the coastline. We will have a chance for some scattered showers to the east, but there will be an opportunity for a little bit of, well, a little bit of dry weather in between those raindrops. Looking at today's forecast, a lot of clouds to the west, temperatures mainly in the upper 50s. A lot of rain to the east, temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 50s, and in the middle, well, partly cloudy skies, and we will have a chance to see those temperatures mainly stay in the middle to upper 50s for most of our area. Looking at temperatures for today, we're expecting to see some partly cloudy skies over our area, and that will give us a chance to see quite a bit of, well, warmth in the temperatures. A little bit cool yesterday, back toward the lower 60s today for most of the region, with winds variable around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Heading toward your day, and the basin and foothills, we're looking at a little bit more cloud cover toward the Blue Mountains, but again, partly cloudy skies for most of the area. Temperatures mainly in the upper 50s, lower 60s. Next 7 days, we're expecting more clouds, maybe a couple of raindrops tomorrow with some breezier weather, and then we could have another chance of the storm coming through on Tuesday.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan.
And we'll have more local news after this short break.
Including a one-man picket at YVCC against unfair labor practices. We'll have that local story and more coming up after this short break.
A portion of the news is brought to you by the Voters Education Campaign.
This just might be the perfect car, the Mercury Montego. How about up to 29 miles per gallon highway? Plus the highest 5-star safety rating and a best pick for safety too. Roomy? It feels like you rented out a theater. Pack for a week? Or make that 2 weeks. The only car that can do all of this is this one, the Mercury Montego.
Now lease a Mercury Montego for $234 a month. You gotta put Mercury on your list. At Marchand Home Furnishings, we understand what American tradition and quality are all about with your dining needs. Distinctly American Mission brings back the clean design of the American arts and crafts, or to a new lifestyle collection that combines timeless styling with comfort and function. Let us help you choose a dining set with form and function combined for unsurpassed comfort and a clean, understated design. Marchand Home Furnishings, exit 73 in Grandview, just minutes from anywhere.
Prices have you scared? If you're a Giesa Credit Union member, come to the huge Hertz Giesa Fall Rental Car Sale. This Saturday, the Giesa parking lot in Richland will be overflowing with over 150 Hertz certified pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. All priced with spectacular savings worth thousands less than new. And you can get 100% financing up to 72 months on approved credit. Not a Giesa member? Join at the sale and save. It's the huge Hertz Giesa Fall Rental Car Sale. Saturday only from 9 to 3 at the Giesa parking lot, 825 Goethals in Richland. Don't miss it.
Do you have an extra hour a week? Well, sure, we all do, but have you ever thought about taking that time to give back to your community? You could help build a home for a deserving family as they rebuild their lives. Habitat for Humanity and volunteers like these make it possible. If you'd like to join us to build a home, just log on to our website at KNDU.com. You can change a life.
It's 5:18. Good morning and welcome back to Northwest Today. I'm Jamie Curran. Jay Frank is live in News Control with a quick look at your morning headlines. Jay.
Thank you, Jamie. While local agencies are calling his allegations baseless, a YVCC teacher continues his one-man protest. Alfonso Lee claims the school speech department has unfair labor practices. He has a list of race-related allegations. Lee filed a case with the Teachers Union and the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Both agencies said his allegations were invalid. The Yakima County Sheriff's Office wants people in Zilla to know about a sex offender now in the community. 43-year-old Harvey Sanders has moved to the 200 block of Highland Drive. Sanders was convicted of raping a child in 1993 and molesting a child in 2002. He's a level 3 sex offender, which means he has a high potential to reoffend. If you are a veteran unsure whether you're receiving the benefits you deserve, help is on the way. This Saturday at YVCC, the Greater Yakima Valley Veterans Coalition is hosting a stand down from 9 to 2. That's to give information on services ranging from counseling for post-traumatic stress syndrome to employment services. And finally, in northern Israel, a Palestinian suicide bomber struck an open-air market, killing 5 and wounding 25 others. The Islamic Jihad has taken responsibility for the bombing, saying it was in retaliation for the killing of a top Islamic leader by Israeli troops earlier this week. It is the first suicide bombing to hit Israel since August of this year.
Well, yesterday was a very gray day across the region. Today we'll see a little bit clearer weather as one of those storm waves moves off toward the east. You can see that on the satellite and radar. A lot of the rainfall staying well to our east and our south. That's the way it's going to continue until another storm comes in tomorrow. But today we're expecting partly cloudy skies across the region. Temperatures mainly upper 50s, lower 60s. Tonight, cool with mostly cloudy skies back to the lower and mid 30s in some locations. And then tomorrow, we're looking at mostly cloudy weather. Temperatures back toward the mid and upper 50s outside.
For the very latest World Series action, here is Matt Reichman with This Morning Sports. Good morning, Matt.
Well, the Astros hanging on for dear life off the top in sports. Good morning, everyone. A few things that were going on the last time the White Sox won it all. JFK was born, Walt Disney graduated high school, and a first-class stamp in the U.S. was 3 cents. Chicago looking for its first World Series win since 1917, but Astros fans hoping Brandon Backey can come up huge, and he did through 7 innings at least. Right here, getting Aaron Rowan swinging to end the top of the 4th. 5 hits through 7 innings and no runs for the White Sox. Bottom 6, bases loaded for the Astros. The former Mariner, Freddie Garcia, ending a bases-loaded threat by striking out Jason Lane. Garcia also 4 hits through 7. The scoreless tie broken in the top of the 8th. 2 outs for Jermaine Dye. RBI single off Brad Lidge. Up the middle scoring Willie Harris. Chi Sox up 1-0. Bottom 9. Runner in scoring possession for Chris Burke. A pop foul. Watch Juan Uribe on his horse, comes over, makes an unbelievable catch, falling into the crowd and recording the second out of the 9th inning. You take another look at it as he falls into a whole bunch of Astros fans. Here's your final out. Bobby Jenks getting Orlando Palmeiro to ground up the middle. Uribe again. He just came up huge in the 9th inning. Big plays win games for you, though. The White Sox winning 1-0 and taking home their first World Series since 1917. And that'll do it for sports. Enjoy the rest of Northwest Today.
All right, Matt, thank you. Well, Halloween is right around the corner. That means time for kids to show off their favorite costumes.
However, some costumes can put your child at risk. Asa Aarons reports on what you can look out for up next.
The 4th annual Oktoberfest sales drive is in the final days, but these final days will be huge. Friday through Monday, save thousands on a selection of over 1,000 vehicles. 27 acres of new and used cars, trucks, and vans, all marked down for these final 4 days. This once-a-year event is open to all credit union members in the Columbia Basin. 3.9% APR on select vehicles. No payments till January 2006. Save money and help local people because a portion of every vehicle sale is donated to local food banks. The Oktoberfest sales drive ends Monday night at the Pasco Autoplex.
On the WB Friday, it's a full hour of What I Like About You. Then, right after Reba, these twins are celebrating their new later time by going back in time.
That is so not true.
Actually, they're going back to school.
Well, hello.
Traffic school.
What are you in for?
I did a very bad thing.
I bet you did.
Ew.
Fresh twins, and it's new time right after Reba.
Imagine if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're the victim of medical negligence. The Olympian says that I-330 is unfair to people such as children and homemakers who cannot prove lost wages and other economic damages. The News Tribune says the wrongful death of a stay-at-home mother is a crushing, lifelong source of grief. In such instances, a one-size-fits-all cap of $350,000 would simply be unjust. Paid for by No on I-330.
The Tri-Cities in 1961. Jacobs & Rhodes was there, servicing your home with quality heating and cooling products. Today, their outstanding service and reputation of providing quality products at a fair price from experienced technicians means carefree comfort and peace of mind for your family. Call today and receive up to a $1,500 rebate on your new heating and cooling system. Jacobs & Rhodes, the name you can trust.